All right, let's get into things. Gonna kind of try and sort of fly through this one a little bit today. I'm not a little bit under the weather, but that's okay. To start off with DXY. Look, we hit price target overnight, and as you can see, market tended to agree with this level pretty well. It was a couple of sort of things that we sort of got out of this move. Was firstly this just a little bit sort of scrappy here, but if you can see, of course you can see, let's make this a little slicker. Boom, and then this one here. We'll do this. So this was the move from the election. We had the pullback here, as we can see, is 61%. Obviously, that length through there off the bounce gives us our price target up in this area here. If you want to be really sort of on the ball, you do it from the 61%, the low of that pullback. That gives a measured move right up into this target here. As you can see, market sort of clipped it. I did also notice this last night, or through the session yesterday, that this last little leg through here as well. So this is where we're at yesterday, and I was like, look, basically, I think, where do I have it on the 1 hour? Yeah, this is the course of action we were looking for. The move up here, pullback, any sort of pullback here, expected it to be bought, and then sort of obviously push through for another leg. But this little pullback here, as this little last little flag move, also gives a very even level where we sort of saw price finally sort of cool off a little bit last night. So look, it doesn't mean that the move is done. It's just there's some price targets. Market was looking at this as well. If we look at this, what's this one relating to? So this pullback here. So as we said, right down to the point over here. This pullback after the election, bang, came through. You can see that this, if we drag it out a little bit further, is also the 161 retracement of this move down through here. So there's a couple of things that sort of say, hey, look, this is a good place to sort of maybe get off on those trades. Excuse me, and obviously market agreed and did that. So just see if we can update any sort of lines through here. So getting a little bit of a sort of almost expanding wedge through here. So where are we at now? Let's see. Not a big fan of this being the rising support through here. This didn't really seem to offer much. Um, yeah, look, it's a tough call to sort of say that this is found a top because obviously it has just been such an absolute steamroller of a trade. If you look at this on 4 hour, look, it is overbought. Doesn't mean anything necessarily because these things can obviously stay overbought. They can dip down a little bit and then sort of keep on moving along here. It's just one of those things that when you sort of add a couple of them together, then you've got price targets being met. You've got potentially a little bit of a rising support through here. If you wanted to sort of say, obviously off the base here, area here. It's quite a steep sort of ascent as well. Um, if this does start to sort of break down here a little bit, we might see this sort of roll over and you may actually finally see a little bit of a pullback. If we are to see that, let's just see where we may sort of see something coming through here. So this would be this. These would be the levels you'd be looking for to see if if there is another leg. There was a little bit more of a squeeze in. I was listening to somebody last night who had some sort of prediction of 110. Could be a little bit crazy, but anything's possible for sure. Let's go up. So these will be the levels that you'll be looking for your pullback through here. And remember, sort of the shallower the pullback, the higher the likelihood that we're just going to go bang and just rock it through again. So whatever happens, even if we do get a pullback, it's going to be a three-part move. It's going to be a pullback, and then it's going to be another push back up. And that's where we're going to see, is this going to continue going on, lower high or double top? So, this move will come, could come from up here, could come from here. We'll see how we go. But that's the sort of direction that we're sort of probably looking for. Oops. One sec. There we go. Yeah, so that is the direction that we are going to sort of see something sort of start to form in that. And this may be where we get our sort of pullback, say to the 38, which we can see lines up pretty well with that sort of support from yesterday on the open. Alternatively, this just keeps on going. Like, as I said, just because you hit a price target doesn't mean that, the move's over necessarily. But you look at these things in conjunction with a couple of other things, and you sort of think, okay, look, if I'm taking my profit off here, where am I going to be putting it? And then you sort of look at sort of, as I said, if you pop onto gold, which is down here, we've got coming in very similar at the same time, this measured move of the depth of this channel coming down here, and this is coming in here. Market reacted a little bit from this level last night as well, as you can see, sort of a bit of a push up. Still, obviously, you know what I mean, people are still hammering this down because the bounces are, I mean, it's pretty much a non-existent bounce. But, as soon as it goes up a couple of dollars, people are slamming into it. So it's not to sort of say that, this move here is done either. This could obviously still just sort of be a little sort of stepping stone down to, 25.50s would probably be the next level we'll be looking at underneath 88 here. So back onto DXY. What we're going to see here, we've got it sort of coming online in a few minutes, and so I think that's where we'll start to see some direction. I think if we sort of come down below sort of, all right, if we come down below those wicks from last night, so put it down here. If we do get below that wick, to me, this almost sort of seems like you got a bit of almost a wedge at the top here, because that was a bit of a channel, just given these two highs through here. And if we sort of drag this across here, we can see, obviously, as it is at the moment, it's a bit of a failure to complete that, failure to sort of complete that channel as of yet, which, as we know, a failure to complete channel, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, and then a failure to continue that pattern is an early indicator. Let's get rid of this one for now. Early indicator that you might be seeing a change of direction. So if this moves up and breaks that blue line, then okay, we're going right up and we're probably looking at 660. And you're probably going to say, okay, actually, you know what? It's just done two touches of the bottom here and charges through. But I would say probably more likely you are going to see a little bit of a pullback. I mean, look, the pullback could be like this. Could just be to the 23% and then sort of move up like this. Or, as I said, it could just keep going. It's a little bit of everything at the moment. It's like when things are just charging like this is why people say don't try and pick bottoms. It's the same sort of thing. I mean, obviously, it's just in the other direction. Don't try and pick the tops. But these are the kind of indicators you look for, sort of a change of pattern, lower lows, roll over, overbought, coming down, those kind of things. If enough of them line up together, then you could see a little bit of a start of a cooling. Okay, back onto gold. As you can see, it is trying to sort of hold somewhat of a sort of base around this level here. You want to see above 26.28. Tried a couple of times. Actually had a pretty good bounce off the lows here from 91 up to 15. So 20, almost 30 point, 25 buck point, 25 buck bounce through here. Up above 28. I think that's your little zone just through here. Just through here to get above. If you get above this, then I guess you could look for basically see if this wants to sort of continue this little channel. So it'll be up here and then maybe back and forward like this. If you do go underneath 87 here, if this just melts down here, as you can see, if this is a little range, this 4-hour candle here is kind of dead at night, but didn't really have too much to say. So I mean, if this decides to just go down and then bang down here, 25.50 is the kind of zone that you're looking for. If we do get this, actually, I've got this on another chart on the 15, I think. I mean, this time morning's a bit tough to see, but it is sort of, as you can see, it's not really giving you much here, but it is coming into a little bit of a sort of a little bit of a triangle. So yeah, I think early indicator above 04, but really main one above 26.28 is what you're looking for here. All right, and silver. Silver sort of held the lows, is doing almost a little bit of a inverted head and shoulders. A little bit of an inverted head and shoulders here at the moment. So, clean this up a little bit. With its little neckline just through here. Measure move of this, takes you up to, say, 31.30 or so, roughly. But the more important part of this is if it does get through to this point here, if it does get that break, this could be the break that it's looking for to get out of the channel. I think that's more important than the idea of it actually doing this little head and shoulders. That would get it out of this sort of falling channel, through this falling resistance, which it's been respecting since back up at 35 or so, wherever it is, up over here, yeah, 30, just under 35, wherever it got to, high 34s. And that could enact this kind of move through here, where you get your breakout, then you start to look for your back tests, and you see if the buyers on the horizontal are keen for this again. What's going on with this at the moment? Yeah, so if you see if you can get above this level again, and then you come back here, that's the time you got to see that these buyers who are happy to hold it at this level are happy to hold it again. First things first, get through this little immediate falling, immediate horizontal, this little neckline. See if we can complete that measured move, because I mean, look, the measured move is a massive thing, like given how big we have been, and also it takes you back into this little congestion zone over here. So it's a reasonable area to sort of see a little pop, a target. Which 60 cents, and that's a decent move. See the sellers have another go at it coming down like this, and then see if those buyers can come back in here. That's what you're looking for through this zone. All right, flip across. We got Aussie, just can't get out of its own way. It is absolutely pulverized here. So I mean, look, at the moment we've got. I'm not a big fan of this as a channel or anything. We've got 12 o'clock just ticking on now, so DXY coming online with a little bit of a gap up. One thing I've noticed more recently is the gaps seem to be giving opposite directions. So we've been gapping down ever so slightly, but of course then DXY running to the top side. So that'll be interesting to sort of see, because there was a while back there where the gap was a good indicator for the session. But we'll see how that sort of plays out. So gap up today, has been gapping down with moves up. So yeah, now maybe it'll just sort of gap up and just move up again anyway. But yeah, Aussie at the moment is trying to hold this lower level down here. Obviously, this takes us back to the Trump election lows through here. I think sort of like a breakdown underneath here. There's a couple of sort of little areas where you could be looking for some support areas. But really, I think sort of like at the moment, it needs to get back above sort of, 66 is really its area. We saw it sort of held. It was a good breakout line here. And this is my point, is sort of like, where you revisit the same levels because you got sellers were here, sellers are here. Well, as soon as it broke through, oh wow, sellers were happy to sell it here again. They were just like, this is just a gift for them. So, that's the level you really got to get above. Obviously, there's a bunch of little levels on the way up over here, but this is where we sort of want to see price actually sort of get back above to sort of see if maybe it could sort of continue this range for a little while longer. But as it is right now, I think above 65, you could maybe hope for some consolidation. Below that, I think sort of we're probably looking like a little bit of a wipeout of Aussie. So flip across copper, not helping the situation. It has sort of come down and hit an area that we've obviously previously identified. This is obviously buyers were here, buyers here, buyers here, sellers, sellers kind of thing. It has come down here and it has been absolutely smacked Like we were talking sort of 5% days the other day. Like I think this is well, this move here was 5.5. Then this was 5. Then you had a 3 day here, but this whole entire move from these highs down here, 6%. Like that is just incredible. Yeah, that is just an absolutely pulverized, and this is mainly due to a combination of the US dollar running so hard, the fears of the tariffs and all this kind of sort of stuff, and also China proving itself to be just so incredibly weak, fraudulent. I mean, fraudulent's not exactly anything new, but you know, it is sort of they're sort of a weaker kind of sort of stuff that is leading to this idea of a lower demand, lower production. That with the tariffs as well is going okay. Well, we're not going to be producing as much. Well, you know, we're not going to need so much copper. You can have it for cheap. So that's pretty much the move for it there. Above 422, obviously you're coming into this with a little resistance here. This is an area to watch, in my opinion, like coming through here. It's an area that we previously sort of identified. It didn't hold much on the way sort of coming down, but obviously sellers are happy to sort of knock it on the head there overnight. So look, if you come through this area, this is an area where you might see a little bit of a pop. If you do get through here, you're going to run into the bottom of this previous zone through here. That's your kind of move that you're looking for if you're looking for copper buys down here. Has been absolutely smashed. It's all about sort of whether this move with the US dollar continues. If it does, well, you know, all these things are going to break a little bit further and move a little bit further down. Just a quick note on things as well. We got the gold silver ratio here, which has been interesting because this has really, you know, been fired back up through here. But this has been negative divergence since, you know, 2 or 3 weeks now. And look at these buys. They're very straight, methodically coming in lower lows. Put in that first high, so that's your first actual negative divergence. But as you can see, it's bashing its head along the top up here, not getting any higher, actually coming in lower, unable to even get over 50 through here. So this is really sort of popping around. Typically, this should see metals appreciate a little bit more well as it moves to the downside through here. But you know, obviously things, it's still just really ranging here at the moment. I think the US dollar is really just what's in charge of everything. All right, and China. This is another one that, as I said, sort of like, you know, just absolutely took off. This pretty much sort of came into its measured move through that period as well. Coming up here, close enough, good enough is what we're sort of saying or going with at the moment. This being sort of price target, dropping just short. Maybe it has another flare up through here. But as you can see, there's a bit of a wedge that was sort of forming through this sort of last leg up through here. We did pop through it last night, retest, trying to sort of put in a lower low under here. So I think this is your little zone here to sort of say, yep, okay, we're going to see a little bit more of a cooling through here. RSI does look like it does want to possibly give it another little push. We'll have to sort of see how that goes. Just sort of flip across back onto gold real quickly because we are seeing that sort of break out of that little, whoop, that was it. Yeah, that little triangle right at the point there. So as you can see, it was sort of just pinching here. It's popped up. This could just be a little technical move. It's only on a 15-minute and it's only, you know, $2-3 or something. So it's nothing really to get too excited about. But as you can see, it's obviously breaking to the highs over here. I think above 05 and that, you might see a bit of a move up to test 15. Still a lot of work to be done though. One quick thing I will sort of say just about gold, just going back a second, I did sort of notice this, and we have had this sort of, you know, sharp sell down here. But if you remember back over this period over here, when we're in this large range, this was a massive range at the time. And it is, as you can see, it's $150 from the highs here to the lows down here. We've done 200 in this move down here. So this is, I mean, 7% we've come off here. It came down 6% through here. As you can see, it did, look, there's a lot of people. I mean, look at the sell down here. Even as it came back up, it put in a new high and then sold down again. there's a lot of people saying, okay, there's the trap, and obviously here we go, that's the result of it all. So look, it is very much sort of in the case of, yeah, sellers in control, bang. If you take this last move from that range coming up through here, we're just at the 38%. And as I sort of say all the time, like repeatedly, 38% is still a bullish continuation. So it's very vital for gold bulls to sort of hold this level here. And I think it's worth it to even just give it another shot. To sort of say that, look, you know what, given how things have gone, because remember, look at this move through here, break, consolidation, break, pullback, and that's quite a deep sort of pullback, well, not so much deep pullback, but if we look at that there, that didn't even make it to the 38% on that move through there, but it was in buck terms, dollar terms of the price of gold, a fairly chunky pullback, 150. This would have shook out a lot of people. Technical lower low after a really steep sort of pullback. I think a lot that would have wiped out a lot of people, but it doesn't mean that sort of like it's necessarily coming straight down like this. Oops, it doesn't mean it's necessarily going like that. This is going to disappear, isn't it? Oh, that's so annoying. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. So yeah, it doesn't mean it's necessarily just going to melt straight down like this. I mean, it doesn't mean it's not going to, but there is an argument for a bounce from this zone here. 38% horizontal, wipe out your technical stops under this zone over here. You had the measured move completed from this channel. What if we have a 3 drive? And I said this yesterday as well. What if this continues and comes up here and we see a move like this? Oh, not that one. This one. 1, 2, 3. It's a possibility. I mean, a 3 drive for a top. Gold's getting a nice little push early here. Just to keep it in mind, because I know a lot of people are really just trying to sell with this kind of stuff, and you know what I mean. I missed the sell down. To be honest on that, I had the plan. I didn't follow it. I kind of wrecked myself a little bit trying to catch it. Um, so maybe my view's bias on it all, but come out of this little channel, and then obviously, you know, there's lots of work to be done. As you can see, as this moved up, it didn't move up in just one straight line. But if we get back to where we are now, out of the channel, back past the retest level, that's where you're going to see sort of people change their tone. So really, above 2700, people are going to start talking about this 3 drive, and they're going to start talking about these big moves to the top side here. So let's see how this sort of plays out. Obviously, big talk while it's on 2600 and really just consolidate, and we're looking at $4 breakouts on a 15-minute chart, but the point is these things have to start somewhere. And this has just taken out all these little technical stops. The thing I think with these kind of areas where you look for these technical stops, so you would have thought if there was a whole heap of sort of juicy liquidity down here, as it popped out of this low here, it would have just gone right down like this. This is just taken out, mainly probably retail or something like this, the stops from this area here. It didn't it didn't find what it was looking for to go all the way down here. So I think people are happy to sort of maybe absorb it a little bit here. Look, underneath 87, well, that's void, and we look for a deeper pullback. And look, as I said, you're probably looking 25.50 is probably the next level you're looking for there. So there's lots of work to be done. But these are the things that you could potentially look for it to start. So there's a bit of work to be done there. All right, and where are we go. I think that was pretty much it, isn't it? We sort of went through China. Yep, we've gone through that. We've gone through DXY gold and copper. Okay, so a little bit of data out for the Aussie before. Weak-ish. It's not something that I really put massively on the radar. Refresh this. However, again, these things, little pieces of the puzzle, you pop that in there. It did come in flat of last month, um, but under expectation. Aussie's been absolutely bashed down, so I wouldn't say that this has really been a factor in pricing things in. I don't think like the wage index and that is basically, price increase, is it? What are you indicating inflation? Yeah, so price increase on the wages, labour cost. So obviously, if they're paying more to sort of have the guys sort of make your burger, well, then they're going to charge more for the burger. So they use that as an early indicator. But this isn't something that really pops up on my radar as something that's going to be like, oh, let's see what the prices come in here. It's just another little piece of the puzzle. CPI is the one that's going to see what we do next. So price is expected to actually tick up year on year. This is probably the main one that we're kind of looking for. Looking to be flat on month on core and also the headline there as well. So if this comes in hot, well, we'll see DXY sort of fire back up. If we do see this come in lower, then you could see that as a potential medium-term top on DXY. All right, that's it from me.